Good morning and welcome to r/ChoosingBeggars, where Karens always get what they ask for whenever they want because they deserve it. My neighbor thinks she can walk in my house and help herself to my dinner or anything else she wants. Please note I was young when this happened, and I have learned not to get walked on or allow this type of behavior. This story happened many years ago. While we were in the military, we moved frequently, and at one base in particular, we lived in condo-style houses, which are lines of homes that have one or two walls that are connected to each other. I mention the type of house because it shows how close we were to our neighbors. We did have our own driveways, but they were for single cars and were right next to our neighbors. This base was in a warm location where we should have had air conditioning, but we did not. We were enlisted and lived in older houses, and only newer enlisted or officer housing had air conditioners. The reason I mentioned this is because I would leave my front door open and have just the screen door closed so we could get crosswind to cool the house. This should not have been a big deal, right? Wrong. Our neighbor that was connected to our left liked to come over and borrow things. Our neighbor, or choosing beggar, will be referred to as CB moving forward. Would come over. At the beginning, she would knock, and she would ask for things such as a cup of sugar or milk. Then, as time progressed, choosing beggar would knock and just walk in. And at this point, she still asked for stuff. To be honest, this didn't really bother me too bad because it wasn't too frequent. And then, all of a sudden it changed, and choosing beggar stopped knocking altogether and just began walking in. I did say something, keeping it light in hopes that it would work. I knew we were going to be neighbors for a while, and it could be bad to have a bad relationship between neighbors. Back then, I had a lot of anxiety about negative interactions with people. Then, choosing beggar became pregnant, and her entitlement all of a sudden knew no bounds. Choosing beggar would not only walk into my house, she would go into my fridge or freezer and grab whatever she wanted. This one time I was making dinner, and she walked over, smelled it, grabbed a plate, and served herself. I said something to the effect of, "I'm making that for my husband," and choosing beggar responded that she is only taking a little and there will be plenty for him. That was it. I was mad. After that, I tried locking my screen door, but the cheap lock wouldn't hold. Choosing beggar was still able to pull the door open and eventually snapped the lock off. I finally said screw it and started shutting my actual door, which sucked because it was hot and no air conditioner, but it was better than dealing with her every day. I thought that would work, but she started going through the back door and coming through our screen door. Oh, did I mention her husband was like 3 ranks higher than mine, and she was seriously taking from us when they could afford way more. Anyway, this went on while choosing beggar was pregnant. Finally, after choosing beggar had her baby, she started asking for even more. She wanted my husband to come kill bugs when her husband wasn't home. She wanted me to do things she could easily do for herself, like go to the grocery store. The final straw was she woke me up at 2 a.m. saying "so cold" and mumbling. I seriously thought something was wrong with her baby. I got up, woke my husband up, let him know, and ran over to her house. And I do mean ran. I ran into her house as the door was unlocked, and CB was laying on the couch. She wasn't feeling good. She wanted me to get her a blanket from her upstairs closet. I finally lost my shit. I told her I thought something was wrong with her baby. I was over it. I told her, "CB, you're not to walk into our house without permission, and you are not to ask my husband for anything anymore. The only way it is ever okay to call me in the middle of the night ever again is because you need 911. CB just looked at me and said something about, "Since I'm here, can't I get the blanket?" and that I'm being a horrible neighbor. I walked out of the house and went home and went to bed. Moving forward, CB scowled at me every time she saw me and pointed at me and talked to me about her husband and about other neighbors who told me later. CB's husband got orders and they finally moved. I was so happy because she made it uncomfortable being at my own home till she did. My brother-in-law, the anti-beggar. Backstory. This happened a few years ago, but I remember it well. My sister and her guy were living together and had a big pond. He did not realize how terrible they are to clean and asked my brother and I to come help him clean it. It was a big pond, like 3 foot by 3 foot and 1 foot deep at least. And we told him it would take most of the day because we are absolutely not experts. Just to note, none of us mentioned money. We figured he was with our sister for so long that he was family, and he thought he was gonna just pay us whatever he felt was right. To the story. We go over on a regular Arizona summer day, so it was hot as hell. We realized he was still out, so we shrugged and got to it. About an hour or so in, he shows up with breakfast for himself and us. We joked for a while we ate, and then went back to work. He helped out and it was coming along nice until we found a massive centipede, and we stopped to figure out how the frick do we move that thing. Then of course dared each other to do dumb crap to grab it because we're guys. We finally get it out and move it to the bushes, when brother-in-law says he has to leave, hops in the car and is gone for another hour. My brother and I just keep at it scrubbing the algae and gunk out, stopping occasionally to hide from the sun. Brother-in-law shows back up with lunch, expensive burgers. I don't remember from where, but they were divine. We eat and laugh about how well it's coming along, and brother-in-law goes inside for a hat. Brother and I joke that we make out like bandits because we just wanted a 12-pack and a pizza to help, and got 2 full meals. When brother-in-law comes back out, we finish the last 2 hours of sterilizing and prepping the thing for fish. He asks us to set up a cover to keep cats out, and we figure it out and start filing it. Brother-in-law disappears again and comes out with a wad of cash. This is where the weirdest fight of my life happens. Brother-in-law's like, "Hey, thanks a ton guys. That sucked ass, so I figured $1.50 each." Brother and I looked at each other confused. "You know, 150 for each of you? Not enough? Fine, 200, last offer." My brother's like, "Dude, you're family. We came over to hang out like we do and help make a crappy job more fun. Besides, you fed our fat asses twice today. I think we're good." "Oh right, so you can lord it over me later. No, take the cash." 200? Are you insane? Family, at least the parts we like. We just help just to hang with them. The crappiest job can be fun with the right company. "I will pay you. I do not do the favor game. I always lose there." Me, seeing where we were going nowhere, I say, $20 total. It buys us dinner on the way home. That way you fed us all day. Brother looked at me and realized the same thing I did. It was more of a pride thing for brother-in-law, I think, and nodded his agreement. "No, you worked all day and deserve more." "You fed us and helped, man. $20 is fair enough." 100. $20 total. Take it or leave it. Each. I don't want to rip you guys off. Brother and I, done, grabbed our cash and left very confused. Later that night, we found out from our sister that since he has money, no one, even his own family, will just help him. He has started to come around that we like him and just help to harass him while we work. However, he does fall back sometimes to the "this cannot be" mindset sometimes. And finally, a guy at the front of the casino asks me for the money, then tells me about how much money he's lost that night and the past week. This may not be a Choosing Beggars story, but it's short, and if it gets removed, that's fine. Last month, my boyfriend took me to this fancy casino for my birthday, and we stayed there overnight. We've been talking about going there for months, but it's really expensive, and we never had a good reason to spend that kind of money until he suggested staying there for my birthday. So, we were both super excited to be there. After we check in and get ready to go out, I'm at the entrance of the casino waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up to go out to dinner, and a man approaches me. He asks me for 50 cents or $1, I can't remember, and I say I don't have change, even though I was pretty sure I had 50 cents in change in my purse. He then proceeds to tell me how he lost hundreds of dollars that night and over 1,000 that same week. I tell him, "Sorry bro," and man, that really sucks, and stand there awkwardly, hoping my boyfriend will swing around his car any second. I didn't have to wait long until the guy walks outside and starts smoking and talking to the valet, possibly asking him for money too, lol. Still don't understand how 50 cents would make any difference. and he made it clear he had money but lost it gambling it all away. I mean, tough luck, but that's why I limit myself to $20 anytime I go to a casino. Yikes. Oh, and there's a story in the comments that I'm going to read as well. I had a similar experience in the early 2000s. A friend of mine who really enjoys gambling for free plane flights and 3-day stays for 2 to Atlantic City. The casinos were trying to do anything to get people to go to Atlantic City, so she invited me to go. Me, being the frugal spender, I told myself that I would only allow myself to lose $50. Once there, the cheapest option I saw was the penny slots. By the first day, I was down $20. I decided to walk the boardwalk to kill time. The second day, I made $50, so I was at $80. The third day, I decided to go all out, win or lose. I lost just about everything. I had $10 left. I decided to walk around again. The entire time, my friend is at the blackjack table putting down big bids. Some guy comes up to me and has for $1, or asks for $1. I figured, what the heck. I gave him $1, thinking he was going to get on the jitneys, the local bus routes that charge $1 for you to get on. As soon as I turn around, I see him bolt for the slot machines. I thought, damn, he must be one of those gambling addicts. Alright guys, tell me what you thought about this episode today. I'm glad you stuck around for the end here. If there has been any choosing beggars in your life, drop me a turtle down in the comments down below, or just tell me what, is going on. What are the choosing beggars been up to? And as always, I hope you guys have a good day, good night, or a good sleep, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.